Words aren't just words. They can be weapons. They can be gifts. The right words can win you friends or make you enemies. They can come back to haunt you. Sometimes they can change things forever. Hi, my name's Lauren, and welcome to Meg Reviews. In this episode, I will be reviewing the book Posted, written by John David Anderson. In this story, there's a war. Not a war with swords and guns. In this war, the weapons are words. Brandon Middle School is covered in notes. Bright neon sticky notes. Some messages are good, others not so much. When phones get banned, the sticky notes become the new social media. It's the same thing, just now everyone can see it. This book is a realistic fiction and is geared towards readers of about ages 10 to 15. This book isn't a very challenging read, however, it is quite long. This book has 365 pages, so I wouldn't suggest you reading it if you aren't looking for a long read. It's the only book, and it isn't in a series. This story takes place in Brandon Middle School, and as we all know, middle schools aren't the best place to be. You are either liked or disliked, and the main character Frost is disliked by many people. This story evolves around Frost, his friends, and Rose, the new girl. While reading this book, you follow Frost through his past and present, through his struggles and through his happiest moments. This book is about overcoming middle school and trying to keep and make friendships on the way. I really enjoyed how the author put in small parts that weren't necessary, but that made me laugh and kept me engaged. While reading this story, I couldn't stop predicting what would come next. I really enjoyed a specific part in the book, where Frost and his friends were playing Dungeons and Dragons. I laughed very hard while reading this part. This book is very entertaining and engages with your emotions. It is a great book, but if I could change something about it, I would make the beginning faster, because it has a very slow start. While reading the beginning, I was quite bored. Once I got around the middle of the story, though, my mood changed almost immediately. The author, John David Anderson, did a very good job with his writing style. I appreciated how he included the exact same thing in the beginning of the story and in the end of the story as well. He wrote the book in Frost's perspective, and it is as if Frost himself were writing the book. He explained what he saw, then told you about what had happened in the past week or so. Frost gave you a recap, then brought you back to the present for the last couple of chapters. I hadn't really read a book written in this style before, but I really enjoyed it. I feel that the style really added a lot more to the story. That if you choose to read this book, you will start enjoying it around the middle area of the story. As I mentioned before, the book has a very slow beginning, so the start is mainly just a recap of who he is and who his friends are. He tells you about his past and his friends as well. He explains how they became friends, what their nicknames are for each other, and how they got them. The middle of the book is where the book starts to get interesting, where the war starts. The end of the story is very interesting as well. The author did a very good job of keeping me engaged. After getting past the recaps of who they were, I didn't want to put the book down at all. To wrap up this podcast, I will rate this book. I give this book 4 out of 5 stars because John David Anderson did a very good job on keeping me engaged, and he definitely made me laugh. However, I won't give this book full marks because the start was very long. Thank you very much for listening to my podcast, and thank you, John David Anderson, for writing such a wonderful story.